It was the friends. We have just hit 10,000 subscribers. Holy moly, I have so many conflicting feelings. This is surreal, and it's weird. It is surreal, and at the same time not at all. Like it feels, because I know some of you guys know that I had been like envisioning this entire thing for like a year or two. So I sometimes feel like I'm just kind of catching up to what I've already kind of created for myself. And I know that's esoteric woo bullshit, but that's how I feel about it. And yeah, it's just interesting just seeing this thing actually come to fruition. Especially I think for those of probably not you guys, but kind of people in my life that like when I told people I was like gonna be doing a podcast and a YouTube channel, people I think like when you're right at the beginning of a journey, people who know you so well, it's weird to explain it. It's because sometimes I feel like our best friends are the ones that hold us back sometimes. And it depends on who those people are. Like if you have best friends who kind of believe in growth and believe people can change, then you accomplishing your own visions is no big deal for them, because they see you as an evolving process. But I think a lot of us have kind of friends that, if we haven't shed them already, that kind of like think they know who we are. And when you set out and you say, oh, I'm gonna do this, they're like, oh, cool, like, but I don't think they really kind of believe it fully. And luckily I don't have many of those people in my life, but I think for those that kind of did believe that way, seeing me hit 10,000, because I've talked to some of them now and they're just like, whoa, like, wow, I kind of, they always say like, I kind of believed it was possible, but like not really, because I've known you for so long, and like you weren't a YouTuber when I met you, or you weren't, whatever you've evolved to become. And I feel like this is just surreal for everybody involved. But I've been thinking about this video last couple days, and I've been thinking about what I kind of wanted to do with it, because I feel like the usual celebration video is not it's I don't know. I don't feel like it would fit, because I don't think you guys know, but like this kind of past 2 months or whatever, month and a half has been very like up and down for me. It's I know those of you who are on the Discord know that I kind of reached out to you guys and mentioned that I was not going to be putting up any videos for a week, or maybe just like one video, and that was kind of like in the yeah, I guess I'll just come out and say it. Like I kind of went through a pretty big depression this last month and a half, really intense, and it probably like and when I tell people this, like I've told some of the people close to me, and they're just like, "What? Like everything is going well for you?" And yeah, that's sometimes depression comes in weird ways and for weird reasons. And I think depression for me is, and I think a lot of us is like, it's kind of like a period of growth. It's a period of self-reflection. It's a period of, things are different, for good or worse. And I know like Josh Radner from How I Met Your Mother said he became the most depressed and self-conscious when How I Met Your Mother took off and he became famous. Because like, on one hand, the first thing that happened was, you guys know, like I'm very goal oriented, right? I have all these intentions, and we'd been hitting them every single month, like just knocking them out of the water, exceeding all of my wildest expectations. And then this was the first month that we didn't like hit our goal completely, and that was a really big learning experience for me, because I kind of felt like a failure. I felt like I failed on this arbitrary number that I created out of thin air that doesn't mean anything. And so it's kind of like this has been a really big lesson in just like for me learning how to balance my expectations and my intentions, because I feel like intentions are very valuable. Like telling, the universe, so to speak, or whatever, God, what you want out of life. I feel like that. And even if it's not even about a God, I feel like it focuses your mind, and it allows you to process information better when you know your endpoint and you're just trying to find a way to get there. It makes things a lot clearer, I find. And so I never, like, what I've kind of like, realized is I never want to let go of my intentions, but more like, set them and then let go. And, it's up to the process now, and I think after all this time, that's kind of what I've learned is just trust in the process. And then another thing with all this like kind of stuff going on is like a lot of like self-worth issues and kind of dormant insecurities from my childhood started to come up. Like even just the idea of like watching like this thing grow so quickly and then kind of start to slow down was like terrifying because I felt like the brain works, right? It's like we just create these stories of like the worst case scenarios. And I was like, oh, it's slowing down. It's gonna go to like 10 people a day. Like no one's gonna give a fuck about this thing anymore. And just things that like, my things my let's just say some of my upbringing, messages I heard that like, people would leave you, people would abandon you, and that, yeah, stuff like that started kind of peek in the back of my head because everything's good when life's good, right? You can kind of keep those insecurities at bay because your reality does not match those insecurities. But the moment your reality or like, things start to go a bit negative, those insecurities find a way to claw themselves like back into your mind because now like they have an opening. They're like, look, we told you, this is their opportunity. And so yeah, that was difficult. Also just like comparing myself to others. Especially one thing I've realized is like comparing myself to others and even just like validation is a crazy thing. Because you know what, I've told you guys this before, but like when I started this channel, I was like very like self-directed. I was like, I'm going to do my thing, and then you quickly realize with a bit of success that your fans, your community, your audience, so to speak, they are everything. They are everything to you, personally and even just on a business level, right? Like if you guys don't watch the videos, don't I can't do anything, right? And then on a personal level, my relationship with you guys, and you guys, really care about the channel, you really care about me, and those of you who have really got to get to know, I in turn care about you guys, and that can be difficult, especially navigating for me that relationship between like how do I treat my audience, you know what I mean? How much do I let them in, and how much do I have to allow surprise for them too, right? So that was like, and I've talked to some of you about this as well. So that was like just a learning experience of like learning, how to these boxes of like, the business, the personal side, and like finding even moving forward in our world, what is the line between business and personal moving forward? Like no one's really ever explored that. Because social media didn't exist. A lot of these things, Hollywood, there was a barrier between people and the product. Now that barrier is so fine, and it's like you can lose yourself in those kind of relationships. You can also give up, too much, and I felt like, yeah, it was starting to weigh on me a lot. Also a big thing this period was definitely like feeling kind of a prisoner to the identity that I've in turn created, or that has been thrust upon me, essentially of the thought-provoking guy. Because yeah, at first it's like, that's awesome, people like you, you have a niche, or you have an identity, and whenever you're on YouTube, whenever you have a brand, what's the number one thing you want is an identity. You want to stick out. And the thing, for as someone like me who's always been kind of rebellious at heart, that started to feel like a prison. That identity of like, feeling like if any video was not thought provoking, it was a waste of time. Like I should just throw it out because, I'm people expect more of me, and that was difficult for sure. Just yeah, learning. And so like, I don't know if you guys even could tell, but there's a week there where I was just making videos and I was like, fuck it, I'm just like not gonna be thought provoking. I'm just gonna be, dry, and like I don't even think anyone even noticed. Because it's just that internal pressure and we put on ourselves that like I was just like, yeah, I'm going to see what happens when I don't like when I kind of hold it back a bit. And that was really nice because it didn't fall apart. The numbers didn't go to 0. And I just realized, okay, like I'm getting back to, if the song brings something out of me, go with it. But if it doesn't, don't force it. And that's something I've definitely come to terms with. And I feel like moving forward, and even the content now is getting a lot better, to me at least, just on an integrity level, because I don't feel like I'm trying to do anything anymore. And that's just a beautiful thing. Not feeling like you have to do anything. And obviously the comments have been a big thing. Just the anxiety, and this was kind of what I was going to, like, validation, is that you know, people think like, oh, if everyone's telling you you're awesome, that must be great, you know? But it's like, the moment I get my validation or my sense of identity or my sense of self-esteem from anyone other than myself, I'm fucked. Because I've said this before, it's like, like, you can't open yourself up to positive feedback and close yourself off to negative feedback. Like, you either open up to everything or you close off to everything. And as, you know, I started to get more positive feedback, I started to open myself up to that, and it made me feel good. And I would read comments and, you know, boost my mood if I was in a bad mood. But then, you know, there's a few daggers in there, and they get through, and then it just kind of, I was like, it's just Russian roulette, emotional Russian roulette. And that's what kind of stopped me from really putting too much of my energy into the comments, which obviously I read them sometimes, but I try to be, as oddly enough, as emotionless as I can, just for my own sanity. And again, if you guys are like, oh, you know, why, you know, should I just not leave comments? You can leave comments, but if you really want, like, you know, if you really want to tell me something emotional or something, like I always say, I just reach out on Discord, because that I do let my guard down more in Discord. I do open myself up more, because there's that barrier to entry. I know, like, no person who just wants to fuck with me is gonna start a Discord account and then find their way onto my Discord server just to tell me something. Like, it's possible, but I don't want to accept that's possible. So yeah, so if you guys, as I always say, if you guys do want to connect, do so there. And yeah, and essentially the last thing that was really difficult was just like doing things that I didn't resonate with. Like, I found there's one period where I was starting to just chase new songs. You know, when a song would come out, I'd try to come out with a reaction on the same day, and that is so stressful. And I definitely recommend to anyone that is starting this, don't do that. Just let go. Like, you know, sure, it might increase your speed of growth by, you know, 5% or something, but I guarantee the stress that comes with that outweighs the 5%. You'll get where you want to go. It's just, it might take a bit longer, but at least you'll keep your sanity when you get there. And that's something I'm really learning right now, is like, if a new Eminem song comes out, or if a new fucking this or that or this, like, just just tell myself, just like, relax, man. You know, it will all happen when it happens. You know, just don't, and especially don't focus and try to chase things that I don't even really like. Like, there's kind of artists on the channel that I thought I liked more than I really did, and as I like kind of chased more and more of their stuff, I realized that I just wasn't resonating with it as much anymore. And so it's just like stuff like that, just like, let it go. You know, you don't have to, you know, do that. It just causes more stress. And now we're gonna go into kind of essentially like kind of how I've kind of learned, what I've learned from all this kind of stuff. And the number one thing I've learned is essentially just, I've learned who my audience is. I think that was so big, because at the beginning I was throwing fucking everything at you guys. I was throwing stand-up comedy, rap, pop, country, rock, metal, like classic rock, classic pop, and I'm glad I did that, because when I threw everything, when I look at my analytics and figuring out what actually sticks, it's very clear what sticks. And essentially what I figured out is, when I look at who subscribe, and this is a big distinction for you guys too, they're starting with YouTube channels, do not focus on the views, focus on the subscribers. For example, what would it be? I have a Justin Bieber video with, I think, 30,000 views. but it has less subscribers than my Machine Gun Kelly video with 7,000 views. And right there, it just shows that I'm just kind of like learning, like, okay, focus who loves your content. Like, I don't care who likes my content. I don't care who watches my content, who loves my content. And those of you who love my content, I'm really learning to focus on you guys and really kind of develop that relationship with you guys, because you guys are the ones that really mean something to me. Because you guys are a reflection of who I am. Because if you really love me, I in turn probably really love you guys too. So that's just a huge part of it. And I've noticed that is, oddly enough, pop, the classics, and rock and metal. Most of my subscribers come from those genres. And oddly enough, I've noticed rap does not get many subscribers unless it's NF and Machine Gun Kelly. So I kind of like, that was a really big thing when I came to that conclusion, because I like rap would get a lot of these numbers, but the subscribers just didn't come through on average. And I just realized, okay, like the kind of who my fans are is like just like emotional music, regardless of the genre. So like I've noticed my biggest fan bases are like Starset, like you guys. When I kind of figured out who my subscribers were like, that's why I did that full album reaction for you guys, because I was like, I don't even need to, I want to give back to those that really vibe with this channel. And I've realized that is the Machine Gun Kelly fans, the Kelly Clarkson fans, the Youngblood fans, the Starset fans. Those are the people that, there's a lot of other ones, but those are like just the big four. I find like you guys really, and I'm probably forgetting NF obviously too, but yeah, just kind of realizing that you guys are kind of who I'm doing this for, and that caused eased a lot of anxiety for me, because when I was looking at the camera now, I can actually visualize who's on the other side, rather than this canvas of different colors and shades. Now it's like, it's emotion, it's passion. Like, that is the shade, that is the music. It doesn't matter if it's metal, it doesn't matter if it's screaming or singing. Like, it's the emotion. My fans, my community, my audience, my family here on YouTube and on the Discord are just passionate people. And I'm just moving forward really gonna hone in on focus on that. And just, yeah, like letting go of needing to be everything to everyone. That's a huge thing too. And like I said, when I was throwing everything at the wall, I was trying to be everything to everyone, and I just realized I can't do that. I have to I'd rather be something to someone and just be myself. Don't chase what's popular. Just, yeah, focus on what I love, and my community will end up being a reflection of what I love. And just another thing is just focus on what I have in front of me, rather than always like I was joking that we're gonna be jumping at I'm gonna be looking at 25,000, and I am. That's just the way I'm wired. I'm always moving forward, but also I think I want to kind of really, yeah, focus more on what I have in front of me, the community I have in front of me, and nurture you guys. Really focus more on you guys. So yeah. And the last thing I've learned is just to trust more. I feel like we all kind of have trust issues, and me included. And I'm just learning how to trust the process and trust you guys. Honestly, that's it. If we slow down and speed up, and rather than feel like I need to consistently be picking up momentum all the time, like realizing that life has slow periods and has fast periods, and yeah, learn to just be with those periods. And the trusting of you guys is like, know that who's there are meant to be there. And yeah, this thing will work out regardless. You guys will make it work out. We'll make it work out together. Just because I'd rather have a smaller fan base of people that actually give a shit, rather than like a bigger fan base of just people that are trying to pull this channel in a million different directions. I'm sharpening the focus of the channel, and obviously part of that is we no longer have a dedicated stand-up comedy day. I've given that day to Pop and country EDM, that kind of thing, just because I've noticed that's where, not even that's not where the subscribers are. That's where the actual community. That's where the love is. Rock and metal, and generally speaking, pop, EDM, and soul, R&B kind of shit. You guys love that stuff. And then obviously Throwback Thursday. That's a really really big one too. And yeah, so now I'll see you on the next part.